Hey playa, I want to share with you right off the bat that I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every single day. And what I want to share with you is something really cool that I did, but something really stupid that I did right after. This is going to be a fun story to tell, so I'll get into that right after this. Back in the day, before I did the Josh Speaks, me and my friends started a comedy skit YouTube channel called Alliance Adventures. We'd write out scripts for all the stupid and silly ideas that we had, get together on the weekends to record them, and then just boom, put them up on YouTube. This was a lot of fun to do at the time, and since we recorded everything in batches, we released them in seasons, and for our season 2 premiere, we did a red carpet event, invited all of our friends, and then previewed our skits. Sadly, this was before it was just really easy to stream things from YouTube, so we had to burn it all into one file, save it on an Xbox hard drive, and try to play it from there, and of course it didn't work. But we still had fun making these skits, and granted, a lot of them were very stupid, and at the time we didn't realize just how dumb they were. Any idea that came our way was something we thought about doing. So when my friend came with the script called You Die With That Man, we just had to do it. We had to do it. The premise was this: 3 construction workers are working on a job when the veteran construction worker explains to the 2 new guys that you guys gotta stick together no matter what. So one of the construction workers ends up falling down an elevator shaft, so the veteran construction worker tells the other guy, "Bro, you can't just leave your friend down there. You die with that man." And then he jumps down and dies with him. I know it doesn't really make much sense and it probably doesn't sound that funny, but at the time we thought it was hilarious. The one issue was this: we weren't sure how we were going to record this skit. We needed an elevator shaft, we needed to look like construction workers. It didn't look like it was going to play out for us. But one of my friends was a plumber, meaning he had construction hats, he had gloves, he had tools, and he knew where we can find an elevator shaft to record. Finding an elevator is not hard, but we wanted it to be in a place that looked like a construction site, and he knew exactly where we can go. The plan was this: we were going to all impersonate construction workers, put our camera gear inside construction bags, and then sneak onto a job site so we can record. Come on, the odds of that happening are slim to none. How are we going to slip onto a job site undetected and get this recorded? I'm glad you asked that question, because what we planned on doing was going in the dead of night to record. It was midnight, the moon was full, the stars were out, and we were in our disguises ready to break in. So we show up to the building, and the only person sitting there was the security guard. This was our main obstacle. My friend told us, no one talk, no one do anything weird, just follow my lead and we'll get in. So of course, I tried my best to be a casual construction worker. I just kind of stood there, but my friend and my brother were insanely nervous, and you can read that on their body language. My friend starts talking to the security guard and telling him that he's got to tweak a few things and check on them before Monday morning. And the whole time the security guard was just looking and probably thinking, why are there 4 guys here to do this? But sure enough, he let us through. We casually walked on by him, got into the elevator, and rode down to the basement. When we got down there, we were so excited. How crazy is it that we were able to trick the security guard and get into this building to record the skit? This was some Ocean's 11 stuff, let me tell you. But anyway, as I'm setting up the tripod and camera, my friend and my brother are reviewing the scene, trying to see how we're going to play it out when the security guard comes back down. I don't think I've ever hidden a camera that quickly in my life before, but as soon as he came down, we just pretended like we were doing stuff, waving tools and just like, oh yeah. The security guard asked us how long we were going to be down there, and he said maybe about 20 minutes or so. So we had a limited time to get this skit done. And get it done, we did. It took us a ton of takes to do it because we kept breaking out into laughter every time my friend said, "Bro, you die with that man." It was a really hard scene to record, but we were able to get it done. And I would love more than anything to show you guys a clip of it, but this is where the story takes a downfall. Once we finished recording, we got back on the elevator, headed back up, said bye to the security guard, and walked to the car. We were yelling and screaming when we got to the car, and we were so excited that I decided to pull out the camera, rewind it back a little bit so we can actually watch what we recorded. And as I rewound the tape a little bit, my friend told me, "Don't worry, we'll watch when we get back to your house." So I paused it and just left it there. When we got back to my house though, it was incredibly late on a Sunday night, so we decided to call it quits and figured we'd watch it another day. At the time of recording these skits, I also had another YouTube channel that I did with one of my female friends, so I decided to meet up with her the very next day to go record for that. However, what I did not do was rip the footage from the camera to my computer, so when I started recording the next day, I ended up recording over the segment that I rewound. And since that final take was the last thing we recorded at the end of that night, I ended up recording over it the very next day. And when I finally sat down at my computer to rip all of the footage, I realized I had made a huge mistake. I felt completely crushed. Our whole espionage mission just went down the drain simply because I made a stupid mistake and didn't just rip the footage. And this was something I couldn't get over. I had to tell my friends I ruined our skit and I didn't know what to do about it. For days, I felt like crap. This was something that just couldn't be undone, and I felt like a complete failure for making this mistake. I had all this pent-up aggression inside of me, and I felt like the only way I can let it go was to work my butt off in the gym. The very next day, I walked into the gym with my brother, and I said to myself, I am going to work out every single ounce of frustration in my body. This is how I'm going to channel my anger into exercise. And by the end of this workout, I'm going to just let it go. And I did. I safely pushed myself as hard as I could in the gym that day, to the point where I wanted to puke. And when I finished exercising, filled up my protein shake, and stood in the doorway of the gym ready to leave, I simply told myself, let it go. And that feeling of not holding this unerasable mistake over my head allowed me to forgive myself. I had channeled my anger into something productive, and now I felt free and able to just move on. And this, I think, is the big takeaway here, because there will be moments and times where we regret our mistakes and the things that we did. But what really matters is what you do with the mad that you feel. For me, I turned it into a workout. For you, it might be going for a run or writing your feelings down or whatever you can think of. Yes, I had lost the skit forever, but what I gained from that moment was a sense of clarity. I knew that when I felt angry, I needed to find a positive way to let it out. What do you guys think? Have you ever made a mistake like this before? Something that just couldn't be undone? How did you deal with it? Leave your comments below and we'll talk about it. We went on to make tons of new skits, and every single year we make a brand new Halloween short film. If you want to check out the last one we did, check out the cards over here. But I'm also going to link up the new one in this video when we actually put it up. So make sure to come back to this video to check it out. Whew. That was the story I wanted to get off my chest. I felt like even though I had worked it out in the gym, it was still looming over my head because I felt like I needed to talk about it. And talking about it is something I did here. And I think that makes me pretty content. As always, guys, love and peace.